Welcome back to Honest to God. My name's Tad Frederick. It's been a while since I posted something. Been working through some things, and thanks to your responses, that's a little sarcastic. There really hasn't been too many responses to the videos, but thanks to the study that I have been going through and some of the circumstances that I have been living through, I've come to something I want to throw out to you. And that this whole thing, this thing about knowing God, about getting to know God through His Word, those stand true. But I want you to look at the relationships, and that, excuse me, the Bible is about relationships. And if you want to look at some of the relationships, you can look in Philippians 2 that talks about Christ being our example. And that He humbled Himself. He was God, but he didn't wanted to attain Godhood. He already had it, and He actually humbled Himself, became a man, which is pretty humbling from being right there with God all the time to becoming a human. That's kind of a drop in stature. And then not only did he become a human, but he became a servant. Not only did he become a servant, he was wrongly accused, and he was hung on a tree, hung on the cross as a criminal. So that's our example. The first thing I think of is humble yourself on the side of the Lord and let Him lift you up. This is about relationships, and God's relationship with His Son, Jesus Christ. Jesus knew that His Father was faithful and that He was going to do what was best, regardless of the physical, spiritual pain that He was having in the Garden of Gethsemane when He asked God the Father to let this cup pass from me. It's about relationships. And, we don't have relationships today. And the relationships we do have are so self-centered that we don't know what a good relationship is. Well, if you want to know what a good relationship is, you'll get to know God through His Word. You'll get to know that He is faithful. And it's all over the place, people. It's all over the Gospels. It's all over the New Testament. The humble yourself on the side of the Lord is in Peter. It's again kind of shown in the book of James. It's all over the gospel, or all over the epistles, and that's the theme. So what kind of relationships are we having? Right now in our society, we're on Facebook. That's a pretty good relationship. We get into arguments about politics and religion, yet we are not hand-to-hand, face-to-face, going through the trials with somebody. We just sit behind our computer and make judgment calls. Now, we try to be nice. Good Christians try to be nice with some of the things that are put out there on Facebook, but that isn't how you affect change. Jesus Christ did not come down on earth to affect change through mass media, and you have to be involved with people. You need to love your wife as Christ loved the church. How are you supposed to do that? Well, with the love of God and knowing God and understanding what He thinks of you and your wife and your children and what that picture is. So, folks, I just want you to know that this is about relationships, and focus on the relationships that you have. And for relationships that you have, don't involve putting an arm around somebody, holding somebody's hand. I want you to think that think about the fact that you don't have a relationship that it has any meaning whatsoever. Until you get involved in people's lives, until you start practicing what God has shown you to practice by being involved in people's lives, there will be no change. And I'm Tad Frederick, just trying to be honest to God. Leave your comments. Love to hear.